So we got UFC 324 coming up, and the main event for the interim lightweight belt, we have Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett. What do I think of this fight? I think that this is a fight for an interim belt between two guys who are clearly not the best lightweights in the world whatsoever. Arguably, both of them are not even top 5. But it is what it is. It's not a pay-per-view, right? Sign up for Paramount. These are just numbered events now. Pay-per-view is gone. It's kind of hard to complain. But at the end of the day, we all understand what this is, right? This is literally a setup. This is all built around and designed for Paddy Pimblett to go out there, get the biggest win of his career, and then set up the Ilya versus Paddy fight. That's what this is. The UFC looked around at the top of the weight class and said, yeah, who's got the worst ground game? Who does Paddy have the best chance against? It definitely ain't going to be Arman. Whoa, keep him out of the conversation, too. Whoa, it definitely ain't going to be Charles. Get him up out of here. Make sure he gets booked against Max Holloway. Woo-hoo. Cannot Paddy Pimblett fighting those guys. No. We got to give him Justin Gaethje. Because out of all the top guys, the one that has the most suspect ground game is Justin Gaethje. Now, I will say this. For people that seem to think that Patricia's just going to run over Justin Gaethje on the ground, I'm not so sure about that. While I think that Paddy Pimblett has a very, very high-level ground game, his jiu-jitsu is really, really good, man. It really is. He's a beast on the ground. And he's getting better and better every single fight, right? I still think his striking is dog shit. I think his defense is dog shit. But he's pretty decent offensively, right? He kind of fights like a scarecrow, very stiff as a board. Everything just, it looks weird on the feet with Paddy Pimblett, man. It just does. It just looks weird. Things look muscled. I don't know. It's just, there's no flow. There's no smoothness to it whatsoever. But he's a big, strong guy for the weight class. He's young. He's in the prime of his career. He's just beaten such great competition. Lost to Jared Gordon. I don't care what anybody says. This was one of the worst robberies in UFC history. Went to a decision with a washed Tony Ferguson. Oh no, he submitted Bobby Green. Washed Bobby Green. And don't give me all, well, Green just looked great in his last performance. His opponent was, I don't know what that guy was doing. He was basically a moving heavy bag for Bobby Green. Couldn't pull the trigger. So Bobby Green still washed. And then we have Paddy Pimblett going out there and beating an old, washed-up, low fight IQ, muscle milk Michael Chandler, who has been waiting under the table for Conor McGregor and still is waiting. Ready to unbuckle Conor's pants at any moment, man. That is who Paddy Pimblett is beaten to get thrown into an interim lightweight title fight against Justin Gaethje. Now, granted, Justin Gaethje on the other side is like, I'm going to retire if you don't give me a title shot. Man, give me a title shot, I'm going to retire. And I kind of understand it from Gaethje's point of view. He's like, you beg me to fight at 300 and go out there and take a risk and defend the BMF belt against Holloway, to where I even said that Holloway was going to win that fight, where Max was being massively overlooked. That was a miserable stylistic matchup for Gaethje, and he gets flatlined into the canvas in the final 10 seconds. Then he goes out there, is supposed to fight Hooker. Hooker pulls out. In steps Fiziev, gives Fiziev a rematch that Fiziev didn't deserve. And now, okay, so Gaethje stacks up a win against Rafael Fiziev. And the amount of people that are overlooking Gaethje in this fight is insane to me, man. The only people that have submitted Gaethje and made him look easy on the ground are Khabib Nurmagomedov and Charles Oliveira, to where they both were eating big shots on the feet prior to getting him down. You don't come into a Justin Gaethje fight without getting rocked or tagged and hit with a big shot at some point in the fight, man.
What the fuck are you talking about, lad? Schouses don't get knocked out. Gonna school Gaethje.
Now, we know that in the first round, a lot of the times, Gaethje's a wild man in there. He's a wild man. It takes getting to the corner for Trevor Whitman to smack him in the face or something and be like, slow it down. Because Gaethje in the first round is ducking his chin and throwing these haymakers and falling all over the place. But then when he gets to the corner, Trevor Whitman settles him in, and then we see a little bit more of a patient Gaethje. And I know people are going to say, whoa, dude, whoa. You saw what Paddy Pimblett did to Michael Chandler. Look what Chandler did with Gaethje. People tend to forget that, Gaethje, because he likes to go in there and slug it out and brawl in the pocket. Yeah, he was getting rocked around by Chandler in round one. But then once Trevor Whitman corrected Gaethje on the stool and told him to calm the fuck down, He went out there and was literally teeing off on Michael Chandler and beating him up in rounds 2 and 3, man. So the question is Justin Gaethje going to actually fight strategic, or is he going to lose his damn mind in there and get reckless, get caught on the feet by Pimblett, take it down, and submit it? Because that's how Paddy Pimblett wins this fight, man. And I think that is probably the most likely outcome in this fight. But the fact that people think that there's just no way that Gaethje wins this fight is crazy. Yes, it's a strategic match made by the UFC. 100%. They believe they're checking, they're killing two birds with one stone, man. They're like, hey, Gaethje's going to retire if we don't give him a shot, so we're going to throw him in there against Pimblett. And it's also the guy that we feel like Paddy has the best chance against. Because we know Gaethje looks like a fish out of water on the ground. But again, when you look at his resume, the only two guys to sub him are Charles and Khabib. And are we going to say that Paddy is as good as those guys on the ground? No, I don't think so. Even though I think Paddy Pimblett's ground game is really, really good. And I think if he gets the fight, the fight to the floor there, we've seen Gaethje's just, his jiu-jitsu's horrendous, man. When he's put on his back, he's a complete disaster. So, of course, Paddy Pimblett, he absolutely should win this fight. All the pressure, in my opinion, is on Paddy. And people go, whoa, it should be on Gaethje. He's fought for the belt before. He's been the interim champ. This is going to be his last opportunity here. We've already seen basically Gaethje's ceiling in this weight class, man. Paddy Pimblett is the one that the UFC is trying to build up and hand feed all these opportunities to. So at the end of the day, sure, Paddy Pimblett could go out there, hurt Gaethje, take him down, submit him, which I think, like I said, that's where I'm leaning. But Justin Gaethje's a dangerous individual, dude. He's a very dangerous individual. And people that are saying Justin Gaethje is washed, no, I don't think so. You don't go out there and beat Rafael Fiziev in your most recent fight if you're washed. And outstrike him. And I understand that Fiziev took him down and put him in a bad position early in the fight, which, I mean, that's just horrific. Thinking about, if that's Paddy Pimblett, it's a real problem because Paddy's jiu-jitsu is really, really good. But just a fight ago, so many people are out here picking Michael Chandler, low fight IQ Mike, to go out there and send Paddy's head into the rafters. And now he's some unstoppable force that's just going to go out there and run over Gaethje? I don't know about that, man. Justin Gaethje, he's dangerous, dude. Those leg kicks are nasty. And Paddy Pimblett is super one-dimensional on the feet. He's very slow, telegraphs a lot of his shots. And I know that Gaethje bobs and weaves his head and ducks all over the place where Paddy's going to be trying to time those knees, just like he did against Michael Chandler. Like, Paddy clearly comes in with a good game plan for these fights, man. And I think he's better than, I've been saying that he's better than what a lot of people wouldn't give him credit for. But at the end of the day, now people are giving him way too much credit. They're overplaying Paddy Pimblett's skill set. I know he's getting better and all those kinds of things, but he is not that good on the feet, man. People are out here, what, the jab of Paddy Pimblett, the leg kicks. He's a big guy in the weight class that sits back at range, blasts leg kicks from the outside, stumbles into range with a few combinations, and then waits for you to close the distance and then throws knees up the middle. That's what he's going to look to do against Gaethje. And then at any opportunity he can, he's going to try to get the fight to the floor. Name a fight where we have seen Gaethje into where he does not hurt his opponent. Bang him up with leg kicks. Tag him with big shots on the feet with the boxing. It happens in Gaethje fights, man. We have not seen Paddy in a fight with someone like Justin Gaethje, who, while Gaethje is reckless, he can be technical at moments. And when he lands, he hurts guys, man. He does. He does. And Paddy's chin is just in the air waiting to be tagged. It is. It is. So the fact that there's so many people out there that think that this is just some walk in the park for Paddy Pimblett, I think is crazy, dude. I think it's crazy. Because like I said, I think that Paddy has been underestimated quite a bit, man. And I picked him to go out there and beat Michael Chandler. Did I think that he was going to make it look as easy as he did? No. To go out there and dominate, I don't care if Chandler's washed. He's still dangerous. He's got power. He's an explosive ball of muscle, right? Doesn't fight smart whatsoever. But at the end of the day, it was still impressive the way Paddy dealt with him. But styles make fights, man. And people forget. They're like, oh, well, Paddy ran over Chandler, so now he should just go out there and run over Gaethje because Gaethje was getting tagged up by Chandler. That's how Gaethje fights, man. He tries to be in these fight of the night type of, back and forth slugfest, where if he does that in this fight, and if he doesn't catch Paddy Pimblett, he's going to get rocked by Pimblett because Pimblett does have some sneaky power. He does. While I don't think his striking is good, I don't think his defense is good whatsoever. He's a big, strong guy in this weight class. He seems very, very motivated because he knows what's at stake, man. He knows that if he goes out there and beats Justin Gaethje on the first card under the Paramount deal, right? Go out there, add a legend like Justin to his resume, win the interim belt, and then get to go out there and get knocked out by Ilia Topuria or even submitted by Ilia. There's a lot on the line here for Pimblett, man. There really, really is. But the fact that so many people are counting out Justin Gaethje is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I give you, this is very much, like I said, a strategic setup by the UFC. Very much so. They looked around the top of the weight class and were like, yeah, who's the most favorable matchup for Paddy to go out there and beat? But there's no guarantee. This is a guy that lost to Jared Gordon. I don't care that it says that Paddy Pimblett beat Jared Gordon. He lost that fight. And if you're having issues with the boxing of Jared Gordon, if you're having some issues with the striking of Tony Ferguson, what's going to happen when Justin Gaethje's in there, man? And I know that Pimblett's gotten better since those fights. And I know that Gaethje's kind of the same guy. But you don't think Gaethje's going to be super motivated coming into this, knowing that this is his last shot? This is the last opportunity for Gaethje, man. And if he could go out there and beat Paddy Pimblett and throw a wrench into the UFC's plans, and then Ilia's like, well, if Gaethje wins, I can't say what's going to happen. I don't know if he's going to... He was making it sound like if Gaethje beats Paddy Pimblett, then it's not going to be Ilia versus Gaethje. I don't know what Ilia was getting at there. But the bottom line is, no matter who wins this fight, gets brutally flatlined by Ilia Topuria. So to me, it's depressing in that sense. But at the end of the day, it's a good fight. It's a good fight. It's going to be an entertaining fight. My early prediction is that Paddy Pimblett does submit Justin Gaethje. But by the same token, man, I feel like people are really overlooking Gaethje in this fight. I feel like it's a lot more competitive than what people think. Because when has Paddy just ran somebody over? I know he looked good against Chandler, but stylistically, that's why I picked Paddy to win that fight. Chandler's just, he gets tired after a round, man. Gaethje doesn't get very tired. I know sometimes he starts to breathe heavy, but he's a dog. And he's going to keep going, man. He's got crazy power. Gaethje's been in these big moments. Paddy's never been in this massive of a moment before, man. I don't know. I don't understand where this Gaethje disrespect is coming from. I understand that, Gaethje shouldn't get a title shot. Well, at the end of the day, like I said, he took a risk by going out there and fighting Holloway. The UFC was begging him to take the fight, and he's like, I should have gotten a title shot. Then I go out there and beat Fiziev, right? And then those same people that are saying Gaethje shouldn't get a title shot, well, who is Paddy beating at the top of the weight class? Nobody. Chandler's like 2-20 in the UFC. So at the end of the day, yes, I'm excited for this fight. I think it's going to be a banger. I think the ground game of Paddy Pimblett is going to be the difference. But if Paddy cannot get the takedowns, if Gaethje can stop the takedown, scramble, get back to the feet, and turn this into a Gaethje type of back-and-forth slugfest, I think there's a good chance he could put Paddy Pimblett out, man. Because out of all the fighters that Paddy has fought thus far, Gaethje is by far the best and by far the most dangerous. 100%. And I feel like those leg kicks of Gaethje, man, how does Paddy deal with leg kicks? We haven't really seen anybody attack the lead leg of Paddy Pimblett. Gaethje's going to. And as long as Gaethje doesn't throw those naked leg kicks out there to where he's over swinging on things and getting himself way out of position to be countered and made look like a fool, I think if we see that patient Justin Gaethje that fights behind a jab, gets the leg kicks going, and fights a smart game, I think there's a very good chance he could go out there and knock out Paddy Pimblett and pull this thing off, man. People are blowing Paddy Pimblett way out of proportion. They are. And I understand that Paddy Pimblett is very good, especially on the ground, and his striking seems to be getting better, to be fair. But it's still not high level. It isn't. And Justin Gaethje, while he gets wild, think about all the Gaethje fights. Think about all Gaethje's fights. He basically hurts everybody that he fights, man. He's outstriking guys like Rafael Fiziev. Is Paddy a better striker than Fiziev? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Is Paddy a better striker than Poirier? No, not at all. So at the end of the day, I think that this is going to be a much closer fight than what people think. I know some people are saying that they're worried that Paddy, against Gaethje because Gaethje is dangerous. The reality is Gaethje is one of the most dangerous guys in the sport. That is the reality. And people want to make fun of Rogan. Gaethje's so he is dangerous. He is. He's got dynamite in his hands. He's got some good speed. He's been in these big moments. But also we've seen Gaethje in these big moments. Things don't go his way. And guys that have a dangerous ground game, they give him problems. They do. And Paddy has the ground game to be able to give Gaethje problems, which I think is the difference in this fight. But to act like Gaethje doesn't have a chance, and, he's just in over his head here, and he's washed, and he's old. It's ridiculous. It is very, very ridiculous. If Paddy Pimblett cannot get this fight to the floor and this is stuck in like a kickboxing type of fight, Gaethje will get to the inside. He will land these big winging shots that Gaethje throws, and he will touch the chin of Paddy Pimblett and knock him out and ruin the UFC's plan. So it's going to come down to if Paddy Pimblett can get a hold of Gaethje and get him down. Can he make Gaethje pay for ducking and bobbing his head all over the place and throw those knees up the middle like we saw him do against Michael Chandler? Because it's very clear that Paddy is, for a guy that was getting fat as can be, outside of when he was preparing for fights, he seemed to have dialed that in, man. So I think Paddy's going to be very prepared. This is the biggest opportunity of his career. He's got a legend in front of him in Justin Gaethje. This is a very dangerous fight for Paddy, man. The Paddy fans out there that are like, this is a gift. Gaethje's just a layup. This is an easy fight. I don't think so whatsoever. It's definitely a more favorable matchup than the other guys at the top of the lightweight division for sure, because I don't think Paddy beats any of those other guys at the top of the weight class. It's a big opportunity for Pimblett. I think he does get it done, but I'm worried for Paddy in that sense, man, because I'm telling you right now, if he cannot get the fight to the floor and his ground game, he's not able to keep Justin down, he's not able to submit him early on in this fight, I think Justin Gaethje is going to wear on Paddy Pimblett. He's going to beat up that lead leg. He will get his hands going. He'll get back to the corner, and Trevor will be like, slow down. And then Gaethje will come out, and I feel like he will be able to find the chin of Paddy Pimblett. Out of all the opponents that Paddy has fought thus far, Gaethje is the one up to this point that can definitely make Paddy pay for the defensive flaws that he has in the striking. That's my take on this fight, man. Neither of these guys are top lightweights, in my opinion. I don't even know if they're top 5 right now. Max Holloway, Charles are better than these guys. Arman is clearly better than these guys. Elia is clearly better than these guys. But it is still a good fight. It's going to be entertaining. My early prediction is Paddy Pimblett by a round 2 sub. I think Gaethje comes out a little reckless, feeling the moment, throwing these big shots. Paddy's banging leg kicks from the outside, is able to get him down, come out in round 2, lands a knee, stings Gaethje a little bit, takes him down, is able to get to the back and submit him. That's how I see this fight going. But like I said, if Paddy can't get this fight to the floor, I'm very worried for him because I think that Justin Gaethje has the power and the speed. Still, even though he's getting close, to 40 years of age, he's been around for a while, got a ton of miles on him. The Gaethje disrespect coming into this fight is pretty crazy, man. He's still very dangerous. His leg kicks are nasty. I don't believe that Paddy has fought anybody with the full striking arsenal that Gaethje brings to the table. And Gaethje is the meanest fighter that Paddy has fought as well. The meanest guy that he's fought. I'm interested to see how this one plays out, man. Very interested to see how this one plays out. But like I said, no matter who wins, it's getting absolutely slumped by Ilia Topuria.